is October the 7th, and we are joined by Jim Scarcelli here on this Monday, heading into the Michigan bye week. Michigan picking themselves off the mat, Scar, after Saturday night and moving forward to this bye week. How you doing?
Just trying to stay positive. We got there's a lot of good things in that game, man. We don't turn the ball over at the end. Then I've taken a good look at the game, and ifs and buts and all that stuff. But a lot of good things still. And Sherrone's got to keep this team together and positive, and get this bye week and get ready for the Illini, man. Going to Illinois ain't no joke. They got a quarterback, they got a defense, so we got a long, tough stretch ahead.
Yeah, winning and losing is everything. And if they would have somehow got the win, we'd be sitting here. I don't know how much we would be looking at every phase of the game and every coach and saying, "Oh, these guys are they're lost," or everything. But of course, you lose, and you do have that conversation about every single guy and every single coach and how the program is looking like it's spiraling in one direction. I don't think it's as bad as that, but I also don't think it's, I'm not just sitting around saying, "Oh yeah, this, they're ready to attack this second half." And, I see them running the table. It would be surprising if they went out there and just were able to, only lose a game in their remaining 6 that they had. But, that's why they play them. We'll see. We'll see if they're able to correct some of this. This is when, you talk about coaching and the direction of a program. Now these guys, all of the, the bloom's off the rose now. Nobody's sitting around telling these guys how great they are and anything else. Coaches or their talent players are all telling them the exact opposite. So now we see what they're made of.
Yeah, you don't need no one to tell you anything. Yeah, the film room is not pleasant now, and it's about going to work, keeping your mouth shut. You talk about leadership. I heard some of these guys talking about leadership, players talking about leadership, man. Just keep your mouth shut and do your job and work. Denny, one of the greatest motivators is when they put that film on. You play on Saturday. Coach Mo would put that film on in that defensive meeting room when I was playing. He put that film on, and there's 4 coaches in there, and they are just shredding dudes. They're telling you if you did something good, but if you did something wrong, everybody sees it. The whole defense sees it. So I don't want to hear about guys talking about, how they're going to lead or this, that, or whatever. If you're not making plays, the film says it all. Coach Mo used to say, what was his line? What you do says so much. What you do says so much. So players just got to work, stay together, and start performing.
Yeah, that's the bottom line to it. When you have the eye in the sky and you have the film, we can see it now. It isn't the off season where nobody knows what's going on in the submarine or anything else. As far as leadership, it's great. It doesn't really mean a lot in real time to us. If having somebody saying, "Oh, he's a great leader." If, somehow they right the ship or, they start correcting things and you get to the off season and then you hear one of the guys, you say, "Oh, you know what? Mason Graham, he in the bye week, he just said, guys, we're just going to put in the work," and he doesn't say a whole lot, but then he started delivering on the field. And, so the leadership means a lot, but it doesn't mean a lot right today. Hearing about it, you got to, maybe after the fact, if they do something and then you say, okay, this was the guy that pointed us in the right direction.
So, Denny, it's about, there's one leader on that football team. It's the head football coach. And he's got to make good decisions and get this thing going. And, we'll see.
That one leader, like happens every year during a bye week, did not have his Monday news conference. And not like he was like, "I'm just going to kick this one. We're not going to have one." They did not have a Monday press conference because they don't have a game coming up this Saturday. They'll enjoy the bye. It's coming at a good time. They got a lot of guys banged up. Not coming at a good time for the fans who are going to look and examine every part of this team and worry about them until they play Illinois. We'll talk about Sherrone Moore. You'll give us some thoughts on the leader of Michigan. We have your film. I can't wait. It's loaded, and you said you already been watching it. Of course, you have to diagram everything up. So that's coming up straight ahead. But how about these remaining 6 games, Scar? The Illinois game is set for 3:30. They came out with the news today of the start time in Champaign. It'll be 3:30 against Illinois. What about the rest of these games? Michigan State, Oregon, at Indiana. You were telling us about Indiana, I think, even before the season. And they're an offensive, I was going to say juggernaut. That seems a little cliche, but they certainly put up a lot of points. And then the remaining 2 games, Northwestern and then down in Columbus. How you feeling about that second half?
Illinois has got a lot of enthusiasm now, Denny. They went to Nebraska and won, and they had an opportunity to beat Penn State. A couple mistakes. I mean, they don't have as many good players, I think, as Michigan. They are very well coached on defense. The place will be loud, and they got a quarterback. He went out and got a transfer quarterback last year. The kid's 2 years now. He played at Ole Miss. The kid's good quarterback. Good defense, fired up team, fired up crowd. It'll be really tough. They will definitely have our attention. A game we could win, but and then Michigan State is a capable team. They went to Oregon and got overwhelmed. Drove the ball and quarterback makes mistake. Can we count on their quarterback making the dumb mistake? Because he's a hell of an athlete. He'll run all over the place and abuse you, but we've got to hope, because every game he's made some big mistakes, fumbling it, throwing it to the wrong guy. And then Oregon and Ohio State, they're the 2 best teams in the Big Ten. They both got quarterbacks, they got defense, they got athletes. Those are going to be brutally difficult football games to win. Indiana's got the quarterback. The guy's a hell of a coach. They do it in all phases. They're fired up. They're 6-0. They're going to have a crowd. Indiana was one place you could always count on where the crowd wasn't much of a factor. Well, that ain't going to be the case when we go there. So they got a quarterback. They're very well coached. Northwestern will be tough. Northwestern is the one game that we got much better players. They don't seem to have much of a quarterback. They play good defense. But, Denny, there ain't no game on that schedule that won't get our attention.
Wow, Bloomington.
Which is a good thing in a way. You got to play every damn week.
Yeah. Now, I'm with you on that. How about answering some questions here? The Punters is making a statement about Tuttle being the starter, saying the team needs a veteran quarterback with his skill set to run the offense they want to run. And he says he wonders if Tuttle was always meant to start but got hurt.
I think so. I said that all along. I think he was the unquestioned backup quarterback last year under JJ. Unquestioned. And I think that's why they didn't go get a kid. He hurt his arm. He had the surgery. This is just speculation. It didn't go as good as planned. That's why he was not ready to go early on. And I think that was their plan. And it got sidetracked with he didn't recover like it should. But he did some great things. You can see right away the defense moved back. They had to honor the pass. We got our pass game going a little bit. He's got enough of a run threat. We'll look at film. The kid's got feet enough to be an issue. But quarterback, yes, there's a lot of hope there. And the kid made a great play on the interception. We'll look at that. The interception, the kid made a great play. It probably shouldn't have been thrown. But, Denny, I'm going to go real quick review some players. Our center play was outstanding. Crippen, again, you played 2 of them. People beat us up for that. And he was good. Our guard play was solid. Those guys have been there now, solid. Percy only had a couple mistakes, and one of it might not even be. I'm trying to figure out their blocking rules on why that one big play was stuffed. Looks like he got slanted inside him, but Percy was respectable. Our tight 17 is just a solid, good tight end. And we got, good running back play. We didn't fumble the football. Our running backs are securing the ball. We don't get our receivers enough involved, I think, in the pass game still. Either they're not getting separation. It was good to see We got Morgan a few touches. But those are my thoughts on offense, Denny. Go ahead. You any thoughts about our offense that you want to jump in on?
Well, I was looking at the Pro Football Focus grades, and Percy graded out pretty good, did a good job in there with his start, and so too did Crippen. He did a good job. Whether you want to call him a backup or whatever, Jadis had been the starter, so he did a good job. What I don't know for sure, like I noticed that people are down on every position. I get that. There's not a lot to hang your hat on as we sit here and feel good about, but I feel like the wide receivers, if I'm a defensive back and I know that I can just stay right up and I'm not worried about the guy taking off and the quarterback throwing the ball over my head, it means I can be a lot more aggressive. It means I can I'm not as worried about, getting beat. And so I don't, when it's, the wide receivers are mid, these guys can't get open. They're third stringers, or we don't have a legit number one. Maybe there's some truth to that. I think that those guys are pretty good. We just when you don't have a QB, you got to have a QB to unlock your wide receivers. So I put it more as a unknown when it comes down to the wide receivers. I think they had some jump when they came out even in the third quarter, and Amari and Walker. I mean, throwing that pass down the field. I mean, it was like,
Denny, he had just like that's a great point. The kid had separation. That's what you want. Amari Walker is a big, tall athlete, man. I stood next to that kid. That was great to see that, man. That you had a guy with separation. Here's a question from Adam. Coach Scar, do you think there's anything to point that Sherrone Moore is too much of a player's coach? Some people have said that. No, I've watched him at practice. He gets after guys, and I don't know. Does that mean he's soft? I don't know. It's early into his reign. Let's get a feel for how he does, man. It's really early to start. But I seen toughness. You got to have toughness. You got to have love, and I seen both of that from him. And I believe that's how he coaches.
Yeah, I've seen it both ways, Scar. I mean, some guys are in your face, ranting and raving, yelling at the officials, and then when you don't do that, you could be saying, hey, a guy needs to be more show more emotion on the sideline. I don't care about that. I wonder about the indecisiveness with the starters and how they went into the season. But look, he is a rookie coach, but I don't think like during the game, like the things how they unfold, he seems like he has a pretty good grasp on things there. But look, when you sit around, he's the one that's making the hires. He's the one that ultimately, when you come to the personnel and everything else, we could talk about the different, everything. It all comes back to Sherrone Moore. So he's going to get all the credit and he's going to get all the blame. And so now,
you don't always know how a guy coach. We see it on TV, but you don't know how he is. In your face in practice. He might be a totally different guy. Let's just quickly defense, Danny. Defense.
Right. Defense.
Mason Graham and Kenny Grant continue to play really well. They were solid in there. A couple, no one's perfect. Solid. Losing Moore really hurt us. Having Moore not playing, it was a factor in that football game. He's a really good football player. He's one of the top edge players in the league. Not having him hurt us. TJ Guy is a good football player, and he was respectable. Josiah Stewart was fine, made some plays. Okay, but we take a drop off. We got Brandt's got to get better. 91's got to get better. He just needs more work, more reps, but there's a drop off there. So he's got to get better. We got to get ready for next year. Thinking about it now. We're going to start next year is going to be Guy and somebody else. So that's what I'm seeing at the front five. I got a little reps. I'm having doubts about our depth behind Mason Graham. It's a concern, Danny. It's a concern because those guys are going to start next year. I want to see Ike show me that we have, the kind of excitement we had for Kenny Graham, when he was a backup, and Mason Graham when they were backup. So Ike is getting a few reps. They're hardly playing, at linebacker play. Those two guys are studs. They played their butt off. They didn't get off the field. I don't know why the hell they don't get them off the field. Rolder didn't play. He must be hurt. I would have played Hood, Moore. I talked about that after the game. I still think you get those guys out of the game, especially some of them long drives, Danny. You put a 12, 14 play drive together, it's tough. It wears on you. So Hood played just a little bit. Our secondary is playing a lot of guys. I'd like to see McBurrows back.
He's hurt.
Yeah, he's still banged up, but that's the way our kicking game is solid. Our punter, everything in the kicking game has been pretty darn solid. We're catching punts, we're punting the ball, we're kicking field goals. So the kicking game has been solid. So we're solid there. Let me just say this about our team. I want to make this clear from old Scar, Denny. Nobody was good enough to win that football game. So I'm not letting anybody off the hook. I'm sure, that's how Sherrone Moore is presented. That's how I always did as a coach. From the head coach on down, no one was good enough to win. So I'm not singling out any coach, side of the ball. It just wasn't good enough. Nobody. And no coach was good enough. Nobody. So that's my take on the defense.
Yeah, I hear you on that. It's hard when you're just watching it. It'll be interesting when you put the film on there. When you see the ball going over guys' heads, and you feel like just by watching on TV that they're not in the right position. You can understand sometimes you're going to get beat on offense or on defense, but it doesn't look like they're in great position. Even when you're talking about tackling and you're seeing guys bounce to the outside and you see guys chasing, and good offense has them. They had them on a string. It was like when they were throwing it on the outside, well, the guys were, they were chasing, and then they would get them on the inside, and they didn't find anything there. They didn't find that footing that they were.
Listen, Danny, we do multiple things on defense. So when I say every defense has its weakness, Wink will change it up, all different types of things. So every defense has its weakness. I give Jed credit. Many times he found the weakness of our defense, whether it be this gap is unmanned or this secondary, this part of the field is not as strong. He found it and he made us pay. So I give the guy credit from that stand. I want to just talk real quick, Denny, about Vanderbilt, Alabama. Vanderbilt won that football game, and the typical narrative would be, oh, Alabama wasn't ready, blah blah blah. No, let me tell you something. And I'm watching this game. I didn't know that we'd eventually not put Alex Orji on the bench, but I'm watching Vandy. Vandy plays a lot of they run the hell out of their quarterback, and they do a lot of the academy type stuff from the shotgun. But anyway, that game was a scheme game. Alabama's defense was confused. They were lost. So it wasn't just that, Vandy got him at the right time. It was a hell of a lot was Alabama's defensive coordinator did a crappy job of figuring out how to defend the scheme. You got it, Denny? Because Vandy didn't have two guys that could start for Alabama. I want to point that out. And the reason I want to point that out is if you're going to play Alex Orji, there's ways. If you really, really find good creative ways like Vandy did to utilize a running quarterback, it's possible. And they did some stuff that was good. I just want to point that out, that it wasn't just a matter of Vandy coming out there and having better players and hammering a team that wasn't ready. No, there was scheme going on there.
Yeah, that's a good point. You've talked about putting Orji when he was in there as in different positions, and I think that's frustrating to a lot of fans. You got to game week and you're ready for the starter to be announced, and they're like, no, we're still. It made me uneasy. I thought the alarm, I pushed the alarm button when there wasn't a starter name. But when you think about it, looked like they're using the same offense with Tuttle and Orji and Warren. And between Orji and Tuttle and Warren, there's no similarity. You have to – I know that Urban Meyer was talking about, this is great, use both of the guys. They're so drastically different, it's going to confuse the defense. Well, what about confusing the offense when you have to practice one way or the other way, and you have to put your resources and time into the reps? To me, that the overall with coaching, figuring that out, the scheme, and it's not just
that's what you want to do. I think as an offense, you want to have your offense that year in, year out. You just make subtle tweaks for the kid who's a little more athletic and runs more. Subtle tweaks. You got a kid who's I've had all types of quarterbacks, slow, unathletic guys that are good throwers, fast, athletic, tough guys that can't throw it across the street. You know what I mean? And you got to find a way to have your offense work within a system that isn't drastic for your players. There's tweaks, but let me talk about some other things real quick. Minnesota was a pretty good football team we beat. I actually had them the other night to win. But USC, you know, I'm giving you a winner, Danny. Take USC with the points at home against Penn State. That's a winner. Okay? So that's that. Just want to point that out.
You're giving us a winner? Everybody's ears perked up there. Let's have Old Scar give that one out again.
I just think USC at home, let these guys travel 3,000 miles. They're a good football team. And home field matters, man, when you're making that long trip. But I talked about Indiana finding a way to win against Northwestern at Northwestern. The Oregon-Ohio State game, man, that's gonna be a game to watch. Both teams really good quarterbacks. The crowd noise will be just out of control. They have a legitimate, serious home field, advantage with noise. But Ohio State's got players, and they got quarterbacks, and they got running backs and receivers, and I can't wait to see that game. I would think to take the points too. There, you're going to give me 4 at home. I don't know. They can score points. They can defend. It'll be interesting.
You're saying take Ohio State.
Take Oregon. Take Oregon with 4 points at home. That's my thought.
Oh, yeah, there you go. I thought I was looking at the spread. I thought Oregon was favored. So yeah, I tend to.
Anyway, Minnesota was a good team, Denny. We beat a good team with Minnesota. They're physical. PJ plays physical, man.
Here, Antoine is jumping in. And just as you go through, sorry, Scar. I know that Antoine has been with us. He's day one. He's a day one. And congratulations. We wanted to get to that 5,000 threshold subscribers, and I looked today, and there it was. So I'm ready to throw that party. Maybe for Illinois, we'll figure that one out. Maybe we can get everybody out there and watch the game. Antoine's mad at the fans for calling for a replacement. This is it. When you got 3 guys now, Warren, Tuttle, Orji, and now, there's even some talk about, Jaden Davis. Well, he didn't want to play. Jaden Davis's dad cut a deal with Sherrone Moore saying, that they wanted their kid not to play this year. You ever heard anything like that? Yeah, saying, look, we want a red shirt. We don't want to play.
No, that could be, Denny, that could be a legitimate deal, all part of recruiting. And as far as the quarterback decision, I mean, that's the head coach's decision, man. What they're doing with the quarterback that's a Sherrone Moore decision. So he sees these guys in practice. He knows what they can do, what they can't. And he made a decision about what he thought was best for the team. So
tell me, Scar, that's an interesting point that you make there. It's going to go into recruiting. I've seen it the other way where a coach says, look, I'm going to let you compete. And I think with J.J. McCarthy, he wanted to play as a freshman. So they found a way to get him out there, and they played him a few snaps, even as a true freshman. But I've never heard it the other way where a guy's like, no, I don't want to compete. I want to just take the year off. I don't
know if it's Denny. I don't know if that's the language I would use, is that he doesn't want to compete. The old man might say, I want my kid to just, like it was back in 1970, just be an athlete as a freshman, right? Remember, freshmen were not eligible until I don't know what year. But maybe the dad is saying, you know what? I want my kid to just learn football and do a great job academically before he gets thrown into the fire. And, that could be something the old man discussed with Sherrone Moore.
And you think that's all right? You think that's kind of modern?
Well, hey, Denny, I played in an era when not many freshmen played. Most of us got redshirted.
Right.
Do I think it's okay? Hey, everything's negotiable, man. If that's the way his dad feels, and he wants his kid to really get settled in academically. I've seen a lot of guys that played early, they got screwed around academically. They couldn't handle the academics, the playing, and they it didn't work out for them. So there's.
I would have liked to have heard.
Denny, at the same time, Michigan had every opportunity to tell Jaden Davis's dad no. They could have said no to that deal. You know what I mean?
Right now, hey, look, Sherrone Moore was asked point blank if there was any kind of deal of him preferring to redshirt. He said there's no deal. But
okay, well then there wasn't then. Okay,
well, there's been reports that that's exactly how it did go down. But I have to say this about the reports: there's a way that Jaden Davis's dad and everything, they could say, look, well, yeah, we're excited, for him to come into Michigan, and we understand how it works, but we might prefer him sit out, but he's part of the team and whatever the coaches want him to do. But we understand that redshirting could be good for him. Now, if they said it like that, that's a little bit different than saying, yeah, we cut a deal. We don't want him playing, or else we're not coming there. So I don't know exactly. The fans are making it sound like that's how it went down. That
I have no idea.
I don't either.
I'm just saying that I can understand a parent not be all on board to get him go, ready to go right away. Let's get on to Sherrone Moore there, Denny.
All right, Sherrone Moore.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound good. You sound all right.
Denny, just a couple things that I think are important. I mean, we are a 4-2 football team. A lot of things going on. This is just what I would be thinking about. And I think people need to understand this. The recruits, the kids we have committed right now, everybody's watching everything that goes on with the football team. We got, I don't know, 17, 18 guys committed or something, but let's see how this goes. This is important, because just because a kid committed in July, I think we have to stay on these kids. And this is this is going to be a test of leadership and confidence. The recruits will tell you, because I see Notre Dame losing guys. Are you watching Notre Dame? They're getting decommitments.
Right.
Okay, kids are losing faith over there in South Bend. So this is a sign of that. You want to talk about leadership? This is important. So his staff, we'll see how they do. I'm just watching it, and if kids are hanging tough, that's a great sign of leadership for Michigan. I want to just talk about that. So that's that. I don't think it's too early to start making sure that our recruiting transfer guys, whoever our guys are looking at kids, that we are ready to go early December, because we got some holes to fill based on what I'm seeing from some of the backups that are not playing or whatever. So I just want to make sure that we're looking at those things, and that we bring in the right guys. And, obviously winning solves a lot of those problems in terms of the recruits. But, Denny, the next 3 months are really, real crucial for this, the direction of this team, because there's nothing locked in of a recruit based, what you just put yourself in the position of a kid who committed. You know what I mean? I've been that guy. I understand. I'm watching every game. I'm watching these people I'm interested in. What's going on with their team? How are the coaches responding to it? And so recruits are looking at those things. And parents are looking at those things. Parents are looking at how is the coach treating the players after they've lost. So those things are all important, man. So I just want to point that out, and we're just going to keep the faith, and those things are important. It's going on with him right now.
Yeah, very interesting. I recall over the last 2 years when any team would lose, and Michigan fans would automatically be like, oh, maybe we could flip them, and they're losing. Those guys are jumping off the bow, and everybody's coming after them now. Go ahead, pick that carcass. Now everybody's going to be saying that about Michigan. And how Michigan's approach with recruiting, it was always like, if the guy's first words out of his mouth are going to be NIL, we're going to look to a second tier or anything else. It's changed now, where I think almost every player is going to be asking about NIL, and it's Michigan. If some kids and their dad says, yeah, well, what about the upfront money? I don't know if Michigan automatically, it should be like, oh, no, this guy's doesn't fit our profile. I don't know if they're going to do that. That part's interesting to me. Are they fully in now? Because it is these guys are pros now, and the families have all seen it, and there is upfront money. And I know Michigan's a great place and school, and you want, and hey, maybe that's the direction they still want to go. Saying, hey, look, you're not talking about school, and you're not talking about multiple years here, and the first thing you say is what kind of cash that we can get. You're telling them, why don't you go somewhere else? I don't know. I'm interested in that. I'm not sure how they approach that part.
I get it. The point I'm making, Denny, is that obviously money's a factor still, but winning matters too.
Oh yeah, no, you're
and,
good point.
and this is a great, you know, you want to talk about evaluating a man's leadership. If we struggle, can we retain recruits? And if that is a big plus. If Sherrone Moore and our staff can keep the connections and keep the faith with these kids that we have committed. So that's what I'm looking for.
I think you said it well. All right, good job.
All right, you ready to get on that film?
Well, I would like to thank Quick Cut for the ability for you to get in here and draw up the X's and O's. Quick Cut bringing the telestration that Scar is going to have. Also, I would like to tell you, you like the conversation about Michigan and what's going on with recruiting and the philosophy and what the team is going to do during the bye week and the coaches and everything that is being said about Michigan. It's all laid out there, and all day and all night the discussion goes on over on the Maize and Blue Review. And you can join the party by simply going to michigan.rivals.com, and you can get full access immediately. I like to see you over there having the conversation about, Jaden Davis. You got a picture up there, how he's coming along. And then don't forget basketball. They open up October the 20th. So that is less than 2 weeks that we're sitting here talking about basketball getting underway. I don't know why Marshall's name's over here. He's a decommitment. I'm going to have to make that adjustment. So with that, Scar, we are ready to see the film and go through it in that tough place to play.
Danny, I was there for 1983, and nothing's changed. It's a loud, nasty environment. It's a beautiful environment. Someplace you want to put on your bucket list. You know, they got the boats out there. And it's nice. It's right on the water there. It's something to see. I guess Michigan was well represented. So It's definitely a nice place to go see a football game. Something special. So that's that. Loud, nasty.
Picture it.
Okay, here we go. We start the game out. First play of the game, we're in our 5-2 base. This is what we do. Been doing this all year. Did this in 1975. And right away, Jed realizes he's coming after number 20, and I just don't understand why he's driving on this pump fake right away. Hill, I don't understand it. So anyway, this is something we're bringing a backer here. We're dropping an edge player. We're dropping this edge player to the top. This is fundamental Michigan football, bringing 5, and I don't understand why Hill is biting on that. Always defend the deep first, Denny. You defend the deep. You break on the short.
What about the cushion? You like all that cushion too?
Just don't bite on the fake. Don't bite on it yet.
Right. Don't bite on it.
The cushion is, if he doesn't bite on that fake, watch his technique. If he doesn't bite on this, watch his technique. He's in good shape. Good back pedal. Why are you driving now? He's driving too soon. The ball's not in the air. Ball is not in the air. He shouldn't be driving now. And now he gets out of position. He rolled the dice. Now, are they coaching that? I don't think they're coaching that.
No, and they didn't get pump fake. It wasn't like he bit on a pump fake.
The receiver did, faked it like he was running out. The quarterback didn't do anything yet. He kind of looked at him, but Danny, this is a block. Jim used to run this. We had it in the playbook. We haven't run it much, but this is if you don't see it, it's tough for a defensive tackle. It's called a lot of people have different names for it. I call it wham. A lot of guys call it wham. It's where an outside guy is trapping a 1 technique. And it's tough on Kenny Grant here. This is a tough, because you're not expecting this. Not many teams run it. And they trap them. It's a well-executed play. I'll give Jed credit. I'd like to see us tackle better there. I'd like to see Johnson tackle better there. But, I'd like to see Michigan run. Jim used to run this. It's tough to defend, man, because your 1 technique isn't used to it. So give Jed credit. It was executed. We don't see it. Here's Wink bringing pressure from the short side. Down in distance is 3rd and 9. We're dropping up here to the top. Kenny gets contained. He does a good job with contain. I'm questioning how they're coaching this here, these drops. I don't know why this guy is dropping so deep, this player right here. I'd like to see him up here. I mean, we get him stopped, but it's I'd like to see it. I just don't understand why it's such a deep drop in that flat. We're in a zone coverage. You know, this is a zone coverage. And at what point do you start to break? And I like, why isn't this guy? He's not even in the picture yet. Anyway, I don't know how they're coaching it, but they come up and tackle. They're running. And let me say this too about this football game, Danny, and this team. I can honestly say, there's going to see effort here all the time when they kick. We got guys trying to block the kick, so that's coached up. That's not lazy like some teams. I don't believe for 1 second that anybody that went on that field for Michigan didn't physically give everything they had. You follow me? They gave everything they could physically to their teammates and to Michigan. I believe that. Now, they made mistakes, okay, but it wasn't from lack of effort. I'll say that. It wasn't from lack of effort. This is good stuff for Alex. This is a good way by the coach to get him going, get some confidence. 2nd and 3, you know, make him defend pass still. So this is good stuff. Get the first down, easy pass, builds his confidence. You know, make him defend that. Physical. I called for this play. Remember, Denny, I was calling for quarterback ISO. Remember, Scar was calling for it last week, a couple weeks.
I do.
So we're running. I like the way this play is designed. Okay, this is a nice designed play. We're running it a little different. It's a quarterback ISO, but we block it a little different. We get good down blocks here. Tackle, tight end, our tight end, tackle, guard. We get good down blocks. Now we fake it we fake the ball like an RPO look, but it's a weak fake, which is fine. So he can still get in there and block. So he fakes it to Mullins. We get a nice down blocks here. Nice kick out by Bredesen. But he fakes it to Mullins, but now Mullins can still lead. And he blocks a guy. But Denny, this is a linebacker right here. And watch what this kid is a linebacker. This ain't no safety. Watch what Alex does to him. Boom. You know, this is the stuff. Listen, he ain't going to run around you like Lamar Jackson, okay? But he's going to do this. This is a linebacker. This is what he's going to – you got to come right at him with Alex. You don't run around him so much. You come right at him. That's what I don't want to see with him. You know, this is easy for me to say after the fact, 3rd and 4, that we're throwing the football, but we just hammered him in there pretty good. He's in a 6-1 front. We could still run the ball here, but we decide to throw it, and it's covered pretty good. There's a tight window. It's a little behind him. Again, I'm the Monday morning quarterback. It's easy to question, why didn't we just run it in here? But I guess I am, the fact that I'm bringing it up.
Well, it is Monday. It's Monday afternoon, Scar. So we are going to do it a little bit. And
yeah, it's
like
a ball.
I'd like to see a better pass there. So, you know.
It was slightly behind him, yeah, but you do what the guy's strengths are. You get him 3rd and 4. I mean, we're in 4-down territory there. Let's hammer him again. We were ripping him in there, but can't be okay. What do we got here? Second down. We're in a 4-man front. And I don't like, you know, if you're going to bring a guy and blitz a guy, now you're trying to disguise. Okay. I got this guy circled here, Denny. We're disguising. We're in a 4-man look. We're going to line him up here. He's going to pretend like he's in covers. Then at the last second, he's going to come in here. Now we're slanting the line this way. Okay. So he has to be, when the ball is snapped, in a position to make a play. And he's faking like he's outside. He's coming, but he's too late. It's not timed up good. You know, you want to, I understand exactly what Wink is doing. I did this. I played this technique. I coached this, but let's get in there where now you're faking too much. Let's get in here. He should be here on the snap of the ball. So he could make that play right here, Danny. You follow me?
Yeah, I am following you.
And then because the defense is slanting away from him. This tackle is this TJ guy here. Yeah, we're slanting the defense here. So this guy has to be here. The defense is counting on him to be there, and he just gets there, but it's too late. So, Hausman steps up in there, but, just little things, Denny. Could have been 3rd and 2 again. Nickel, solid coverage. Denny, this I'm calling this solid coverage and I got a little hard here. When I played, that was like our number one coverage. That's the first coverage they put in from like when Schembechler got there, probably until he left, probably till Lloyd Carr left. It's just 4 under 3 deep. We called it solid coverage. Okay, we're in a 4-man front, and it's just 4 under, about 10, 12-yard drops, 3 deep, fields divided up into thirds. You got it?
All right.
3 deep guys, and then there's 4 players playing underneath. And it's, I just want to point it out. It's still, Wink loves it. I got Kenny Grant circled. What did Kenny do here? We get good pressure here, 1st and 10. Kenny's just fighting a double team and just crushing dudes. So we get good pressure out of rushing 4 guys. And a lot of single blocking on him. Maybe sometimes it's just the teams that's what they do. They want to double the one technique, but a lot of people are singling up Mason Graham more so than Kenny. But sometimes it's just they want to double the one technique, not so much this player. But anyway, good pressure, good coverage. That's a coverage pressure deal right there. That's the old solid coverage. What's your question?
My question is, why not run solid coverage all the time? If the 4 guys are going to get
weaknesses, Danny, there's weaknesses to it.
Here's what the fans are saying, Scar. This is a fan statement. Why is Wink blitzing so much if he's got 4 guys that can get to the quarterback? That's the overriding question.
I understand that. Okay, I understand that. If you're in 4 under 3 deep all the time, there's flaws there. There's weaknesses there, and understand this. Right now, it looks like we're rushing 4, right?
That's right.
Doesn't it look like we're rushing 4? Yes, but how many times does Wink bring this guy? How many times does he drop him and bring him? Okay, how many times does he bring both these guys? I mean, even though right now, pre-snap, it looks like we're not doing nothing but rushing 4, there's conflict based on what we've done in the past. You follow me?
Yeah.
So there's uncertainty for the protection because of what we've done in the past. So you cannot just line up with 4 guys and play 4 under 3 deep every single down. Yes, it looks good. It paid off here. But in defense of what Wink's doing, there's still conflict because of what he's done in the past. So that's the point I'm making here.
And Minner was doing all this too.
Nothing's changed, Danny. Minner did all the same stuff. Minner and McDonald have done all the same stuff. The only difference is, Danny, we're just not scoring as many points. We're not controlling the ball as much. I mean, it's a whole team, man. It isn't one side. That's just the way I see it. No jam here, but it's what are we doing here? We're showing we got 5 up. We're in a 5-1 look. What's it down at distance? 3rd and 10. Yeah, this is 3 deep coverage, Denny. We just got done talking about it. This is 4 under 3 deep, right? Let's see what the coverage is.
Yeah, this is the one that you don't like the ball flying over Page's head.
Well, yeah, I'm not quite. Is that a 2 deep? Bottom line,
Boy Blackledge said that Fish, that when he sees an area right down the middle, he's going to go after it every time.
Yeah, I get it. But I'm trying to figure it. I thought this was 3 deep coverage. Okay, I thought it was the same thing, 4 under 3 deep. I kind of think that's what it is. I think these guys I think Page is responsible for the middle third. Okay, so we just got done talking about it, how great it is. Why not just do it? Well, this is like about as simple as it gets, and you don't let someone throw the ball over your head. Now, Okay, you don't like to let guys line up here and not get jams on them, but again, there's always a weakness to everything you do. So he wants to show 5 to try to create some conflict. And what is Wink doing with the front? So he's only bringing 4 guys, Danny. He's dropping 7 dudes. So he's got him at the line of scrimmage. So these guys have to think and honor that this guy's coming. Same thing over here. He's at the line of scrimmage. So these guys have to honor that he might be coming. But he's bringing the backer instead. Maybe something will free up over here. You want to put this protection in conflict. But there's no excuse to let this guy run and not get our captain defending the middle third. So we don't get a jam here, but I understand why you can't do it, because he's trying to keep this guy at the line of scrimmage to create conflict with his presence. You follow me, Danny?
Yeah.
So, but there's just no excuse for that, to let this guy run. He's responsible for the middle third. No one throws the ball over your head, period. That's like the number 1 rule that you learn on the first day if you're a secondary guy. You don't ever let anybody throw the ball over your head. And there's no excuse for that. That's a simple coverage, man. That's like vanilla coverage that, so you want to blame the coach for a guy getting beat, a 4-year player on something he learns day 1. Again, I give Jed credit. There's no help. This is the only little weakness of the way we're lined up of this defense, and they're smart enough to see it. But again, pre-snap, it looks like a weakness, right, Danny? Right now, pre-snap, it looks like there's a big hole there. But
yes,
Wink, you don't always know what Wink's going to do. And that's why we've picked off passes, because just before the ball is snapped, he may have him roll up and be a flat player and have him come over the top. You follow me? And play too deep. It looks like this is an open zone here. But again, because Wink does some different things, the picture is one thing pre-snap, but on the snap of the ball, it looks totally different. So that's what a good coordinator does. But anyway, I said there's a big hole there, and it's 3rd and 8, and sure enough, they freaking find it. I give Jed credit. We're not faking here. I don't understand why this guy's jamming it. Why this player here? I don't know how Wink's coaching it. This guy right here, again, you want to, it's the conflict, Danny. Do you want to jam this guy or have him get out here to the flat, this player right here? So Wink chooses to jam, and then we get that little slant route instead of having him, you follow me? Because you'll see at other times they'll have this player work in here to take the slant away.
Well, shouldn't he be up a little bit closer? I mean, he started touching him at like 6-7 yards down the field. That's illegal contact.
Which player? Number 20?
No, 10. So that was Barry.
Well, he's a flat. He doesn't have a deep responsibility. He's there for whatever, unless is a. I thought this might be a mental mistake. Okay, I wasn't sure how they're coaching this guy. Okay. Because it looks like the linebacker on the snap of the ball. Okay, so here's what you got. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys out here, right? It looks like we're playing. Are we playing 3 deep? It looks like we're probably in a 3 deep coverage. This guy's working over here. He's got a clamp on this guy. And this linebacker is going to come over here, and I'm wondering why he didn't come over here to help on the slant. And he's jamming on that player there. So we got 2 guys on 1. You follow me?
Yeah.
So I wonder if Barry made a mistake there. I don't know, because it looks like we have too much defense here and nothing in here. Unless this kid is some superstar player and that was part of their scheme that I don't know about. I don't know. But Jed found the weakness. So I'll give the guy credit. Here's our base defense, 2nd and 5. And they got they're running, they're pump faking us. They got 2 guys coming over here, and we must be in man coverage here, because you'll see 2 Michigan guys going this way. And that's why they're able to run that ball in there. I got Kenny. Why do I have Kenny circled here? Oh, he gets reached. Kenny is Danny, it gets back. You got to really look close. Why is this play hitting in here? So Kenny Grant is responsible for the A gap between this guard and center. He's playing into the guard, but he's got this gap. He can't let the center get off on the backer. He cannot allow that to happen. He has to stay in his gap, make the center stay on him, or make the football play. So the guard reaches him. The guard is able to block him. You see that, Denny?
I see it, yeah.
Now the linebacker is not protected. So this is tough on the linebacker. You know, he's Kenny's got him, and Kenny just almost makes the play, doesn't he? You see he's reaching his arm out there?
Yeah.
I mean, he knows what he has to do. It's tough as hell to do, man. It's tough. He's trying to get off this block, and he just reaches him and misses him. But they're doing some things to they got guys pump faking over here. You know, these two dudes are going here. That's why our safety is obviously in some type of man coverage.
Yeah, they blocked that. That was good execution by them, unfortunately.
Okay, now I got Big Johnny here. Who the hell's Big Johnny? He was our equipment manager for like 40 years. I don't know. Denny, have you ever seen a Michigan team slip around as much as we did in that football game?
I thought against TCU, they slipped.
Yeah, okay, that was on grass.
Right.
That was on grass. I don't know what the hell's going on here, why we're slipping so much. I don't understand it. And I think he would have made a play if he doesn't slip. He's right there. He's in perfect position. He's coached up. He knows what he's supposed to do. He knows the play. He's got help over here. He knows he's got help inside here, and he slips.
Well, what would be interesting to know is that if all of the other players besides Donovan Edwards and Jair Hill went to all the other players had like half-inch cleats or whatever, and those guys elected to go to like some quarter-inch ones, then
I don't know, Denny, but yeah, I'm sure there's something up there because it wasn't just one guy.
No, it was two.
No, I think there was things there's just plays we didn't see either, though. We saw two that were obvious.
You're right. It could be more.
You have to ask the team and get a feel for, is this surface different? What's going on with the playing surface? Was it rain? I don't know. Anyway, I talked about screenplays. And Benny has done a good job. He doesn't feel this one. You got guys, you're rushing, and you got guys crossing your face with weak blocks. You get that weak block, that ain't no block. You got to smell it, man, and backpedal. He should be feeling it and retracing his steps here. You know, you can see the difference. Hausman recognizes screen earlier, and Guy has just got to – TJ Guy has got to get better at reading this stuff faster. It just comes with reps. So we're down 7-0. And Denny, you talk about adjustments. You talk about the coach, the players. You want to recruit smart guys. Well, this is a damn receiver in the game. This ain't no receiver. This is a quarterback. So this whole defense should know that this kid is in the game. Everybody on Michigan's defense should know that this is a quarterback right here. This ain't no receiver. Everybody needs to know that. They could throw it here. He could throw a double pass over here. You just got to know that. You got to know this is a quarterback. I don't know what they know right now. I don't know that. Okay, but they sure as hell should. You got 30 analysts, right? That's what those dudes do. They find out this stuff. Anyway, this is 91 here. Brandt. You know, you got to feel stuff, man. Some stuff you just can't coach every trick play that ever existed. You got to smell rats. You got to smell things. So let's run the play. They throw it, and he throws it back, and we got nothing over here.
No.
Nothing. I mean, Danny, they got 7 dudes that are pulling to our right. Sometimes you got to believe the blocks. I used to tell my players, and my coach told me, you got to believe the block. You know, if a guy's blocking you and 9 dudes are going away, or the ball's going away and all this stuff, the fans, everybody else is saying, you know, oh, look at what's going on over here. Well, watch these guys over here. 91 should be feeling this stuff. He's right here. He should be feeling that reach block right there. He should be feeling it. Okay? Why is this guy reaching me? I don't care if they're throwing the ball over here. Why is he trying to reach me? What the hell does that mean? He's still trying to reach him. So there's no reason for him to lit up on that block. I got to believe the block. And at what point does he He just doesn't believe it. He doesn't believe it. He's over here now.
Yeah, well, he got double teamed, yeah, and then he backed out of it.
Then if you know, you got to believe the block, and he doesn't believe the block. The guy's blocking him for a reason, and some of that stuff, like I said, you can't teach your team every trick play that was ever created, but there's some common sense things that, you know, smart players got to figure out. Why the hell is he blocking me? You know, why is this dude blocking me? Why is he blocking me? And why are all these guys over here? What the hell?
Why are there 5 guys over there?
I mean, you listen, a lot of the football's deception, man. They could be doing it for people. People have false pulls. They do, right? We've seen false pulls, but one of our guys should have honored that. And it was 91 that should have honored it. Jay Giles, he got his revenge, boy. Giles, what the hell's his last name? Giles
Jackson.
Giles Jackson.
Jay Giles, the band.
Yeah. Right. This quarterback made one mistake the whole game, man. That's he made one bad throw the whole game, made 0 mistakes. I was watching this when this kid was getting all the transfer stuff. Then I knew what we were gonna face with this kid, because he worked under Mike Leach for like 2-3 years. This kid was coached, man. I don't understand what we're doing here. So
the Detroit breakdown.
Yeah, Jay got 1st and 10. Yeah, I don't know. Got to know where your help is. It's tough. It's tough. Does he have help over the top? Is he not using his help? I don't know. Anyway, I sure as hell did not expect this. Did you expect this right here?
What, Tuttle coming in?
Yeah, I had no idea this was coming. 0. I mean, we heard about it during the week, but there's just a presence, man. There's a confidence. He brought a confidence to the team. What is this? 3rd and 1. You know, Denny, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something as a coach that I always felt. Okay. This was how you could determine if you're going to win a football game in most cases. Okay, watch what we do to their front, 3rd and 1. Watch what we do to these guys. We launch them. We're ripping them in there for what, 4 yards?
Yeah.
On a short yardage play. So here's my reasoning is that I always felt as a coach. If we can win the line, now they're not doing this to us. They didn't do this to our defense, but we're doing it to them. So if you're winning the line of scrimmage, I always felt you should win the football game. That's just how I felt as a coach. And I'd be real pissed off if we're ripping them and physically dominating, ripping their front like that, and then they're not able to do it to our defense, and we don't win the football game. I'm just saying it because it bugs me. So here's 20-7 in the game, and where's the tight end? Tight end is here. Okay, so it's still the same stuff though. We're 20-handed, right? Right, Denny? They keep Blackledge was talking about how much he likes these 2 guys in the game. Well, I'd like to see us run this way behind Donovan. I think we would fool the heck out of some people. If he can stick his shoulder into a linebacker's throat, it'd be way more difficult to defend, but we still rip them in here. Even though they all know we're running 20-handed. I mean, we rip them good in there.
Yeah.
But you know how much more effective it would be if we could run either way, though, Denny. You know, believe me, teams will see it, but they give us a good look and we block it. That's an executed play. They're not gap sound. I'll tell you one thing about Donovan Edwards. If you're not gap sound, Donovan Edwards has good vision. He'll make you pay. Donovan will make you pay. We get them in a unsound defense. I don't know what the hell their safety's doing here. Some type of man coverage. And they got nobody there. We get a great block by our left guard, Preeb, and our center, 51. And let's look at it. And they block it, and they got nothing there. They're in man coverage. It's a perfect defense for that play. Because Denny, one of the big weakness of man coverage is that if you get that safety block, if you get the safety blocked, we don't have to block him because he's coming across with this guy. So these guys their eyes are on the receivers. You know what I mean? Their eyes are not on the ball. They're not looking at the quarterback. That's the biggest weakness of man coverage. And this safety is just taking himself right out of the play. He don't even look like almost like they're in zero coverage or something. Unless this guy is the free guy. What's he doing? He's lost too. So he's out of position. But anyway, they're not a real sound defense. We block it up front. Preeb does a good job. Preeb does a good job not letting this guy cross his face. Crippen stays on his guy, and Donovan makes you pay for not being gap sound. And we don't clip. It was a great job. We got hope. We got enthusiasm. We're believing we can. We just scored, and you could see this thing. And he kind of drew it up pretty good, but we get a good job here by this guard, not letting this kid cross his face. And Crippen just widens him out. So it's a good job by Preeb, not letting that guy cross his face. So well executed. We got hope. It was too easy. And now here we're going to rip him in here. What's the down and distance? 2nd and 4. We're just blocking down. Look at that. Talk about winning the line of scrimmage, right? Danny, yeah. They didn't do that. They didn't knock us off the ball like we are doing this to them right here. We didn't see. I didn't see no Michigan defensive lineman like ending up like this dude over here. That's why it normally correlates to winning. Okay, what we do to this kid, nobody did that to us. Watch where we put this kid. I mean, that's blocking, man. Pisses me off. We should have won this football game. When you do that physically, that's an offensive line blocking guys, man. Pass or run. 13, read. What the hell do I mean there? Let's see. Okay, no, I think they're really – you can see that they're defending pass. You can see this team is defending pass because this kid's in the game. A little more so. And this is just a great read. This is just, this is a kid that started a lot of games, man. He hadn't started for Michigan, but he played at Indiana, and look how he's making his reads. Boom, no, he's covered. Boom, no, he's covered. Boom, third read. That's just a good job. So, it's just kids played a lot of football, and Danny, this play here. I talked to Jerry and some of the offensive line guys, and I know how, you got blocking rules, right? This is 3rd and 2. We get stopped here. You have rules. Offensive linemen have blocking rules on every single play. It's like, okay, I'm going to read gap down. I'm going to 1 call, 2 calls. If it's a 1 technique, we're going to double. If it's a 3 technique, we're going to double him. We'll lead, you have rules. And I don't want to go over all that in detail, but this play here, sometimes you change your rules in a game based on how good a player is. You follow me?
Yeah.
Like if our rules say we're supposed to block a defense a certain way, but Fithian is so damn good that we might have to change our rules. Me and Jerry might say, if I'm the tackle, he's the guard, and I'm lining up across from Fithian, and he's real good, we might change something because that guy's good. So that happens. So my question, and I'm just pissed off that we don't block this kid, was it the blocking rules? Was it just a bad job by our tackle? Because Percy
nobody touches him.
Well, Percy's trying to get him, but it's hard. It's a hard block, Denny. It's a hard block because the 3 technique is lined up inside of him, and looks like he's firing in right off the ass of the guard. So it's tough for Percy to get to him. You got a head-up guy on the center. So looking at the result of this play, you'd say, why can't we just block our guard, have our right guard block this guy out, have Crippen just nose up the nose guard, let him go whichever way he wants to go, And because it looks like that's how we're blocked. Our running back is running right at the center, like he's going to read the block of the center. So and then we can double team this 3 technique. And so Crippen doesn't have a long way to go. It's again, I'm a Monday morning, quarterback. So we don't block it like that. We double the 0 technique, the guy in the center, and we leave that 3 technique alone. We try to have Percy get him, and he doesn't get him. So now we got bullshit. So I guess I just wish I knew the answer to that question, how they're coaching it, where was the breakdown, and this kid's a stud. So again, we got a kicker. So we got hope, man. We were 14-0, and look, we're a fired up team, man. If I was on that sideline, I'm fired up, man. Minute 28 left in the half. I got a question here. This kid's accurate. Yeah, again, this is that same conflict I talked about earlier where I said, like, why are we having this player, this defender? Remember earlier when they were on this going the other way? I said, why are we hanging so long on this guy instead of getting in front of that slant route? So I'm not, because we got him dropping. Why isn't he working more toward the slant sooner if we got this player feeling him? We got 2 there. Just, you know what I mean? It's just like if he would have got out there a second sooner, start breaking now. Get there now. He might have picked that thing off, got in front of it, and they don't complete this pass. Anyway, I don't know how they're coaching it. I know how I would. So here's 6 up, Denny. 2nd and 9. People want to yell. You want to yell at Wink? Why aren't we playing 4 up? 4, solid coverage, rush 4 under 3 deep. It's 2nd and 9. Well, you got to do this stuff too to create some conflict for their protection. Okay. Let's see what happens here. There's a 53 seconds left. So we're only rushing. We're only rushing 4 guys. And the kid makes a hell of a play. You see how we're only rushing 4 guys, Denny?
Yeah.
We're just doing it from different spots, launch, spots, because we're trying to get that one offensive lineman that's confused. We want it, just how they got us confused on that, how they stopped us. We want to get this one guy screwed up. But it doesn't happen. And now the linebacker here, this is Hausman. He's got to go from faking like he's rushing to looking up a tight end. So he's at the line of scrimmage like he's rushing, and now on the snap of the ball, he's got to get out and find a tight end. So he's got to look up this tight end because that's where he's got to get to. And he's got he's probably feeling the tight end. Yeah, he's probably a hook. This is the old hook to curl read. He's reading the tight end. So right when that ball is snapped, he's reading the tight end. Okay, he's looking at that tight end. But he also has to feel this receiver here. That's how they're coaching that, I think. So he sees the tight end hook up. Now he's got to try to get to that, and he just doesn't get there in time. The kid makes a good throw. He's an accurate freaking quarterback. So here we are. This is end of the half. This is us rushing 4 now. This is 4 under. This is our solid coverage, Denny. We're rushing 4. We're rushing 4 guys. And we got, we got a big cushion there in that flat. The far out cut, we're giving up. We don't have anybody there. Rushing 4 and get them stopped. So we're not going to give them, let them throw the Hail Mary. We're going to just try to play for the field goal. Rushing 4, decent coverage. And we get great effort here and we block a kick. So if I'm going into that locker room, if I'm Michigan, we got the ball coming out. I'm as a player, I'm feeling confident. We moved the ball. We've scored. We got things going. We've got some enthusiasm. So,
and Jed didn't play the clock well there. So yeah, you're feeling like maybe the coaching momentum.
Yeah, This is the first drive now, the second half. Man, you talk about building the confidence. And we come out with one back.
Yeah, this was a drive of the year. I love this. This is my favorite play of the game right here.
Yeah. And this is, this kid has been through a lot, man. And maybe this can get him going. I mean, he's got separation, Denny. He's got separation.
Yeah, quarterback up in the pocket, keeps his head downfield. I love it.
But this is the stuff we get great protection. I got the protection here, indicated, but this is number one. And this kid is you look at him on hoof. He's a big, tall kid, man. I see why he was recruited, but he gets separation. And the greatest thing is he catches the ball and he gets hit and he hangs onto the football. He gets drilled.
Yeah, he takes a big shot there, right?
Maybe he can. This can springboard him into something, man. I like this call because I always felt this about. Tuttle, that he would give us just enough of this that they have to honor it and they have to defend it. That a team has to honor that stuff because he's got feet. He's not. He may be he's not as physical as Alex, but he might have the same kind of speed. On this kind of a play. But it's a great call. I love the call because it's on film and people have to defend it. And when people know you run this stuff, Denny, with this quarterback, okay, when they know you run this play, okay, here's the mesh point. These guys are all going to have to hang a little longer instead of firing in there if it's Davis Warren in the game, So, and then he puts a move on a guy. That's enough. I'll take it. Give me 5 yards. It's enough. All right, here, what's this now? 2nd and 7. Look at the defense here in this formation. I mean, they got 9 dudes up here. So it's a run formation. I like this play because it's a run. We got all this run offense. It looks like run. And what do? We throw it out here. So that's good stuff. That's good coaching. This 81, I mean, this kid, he must play because he'll block. This 81 here, you can block if it's thrown on our side of the line of scrimmage. So the kid plays. What's that? O'Leary, right?
81 is O'Leary. Yep.
Okay. So here's 2nd and 7, and he finds Loveland. This guy was wide open. Blackledge pointed out. He's wide open. Look at him right there. He's wide open. There's nothing there, but he doesn't see it. And then he's running around and shows athleticism, and he finds a guy wide open. So, man, we were fired up now, weren't we, Denny?
Yeah, it looked like Lamar Jackson yesterday. I was fired up, right? Yeah, things are looking good now. You got a quarterback.
We're a confident team.
Drives, you got points. You spotted up 14 points. Now you take the lead. Let's go. They're off and running.
So, I like Wink did some things here. Now we got the fast quarterback in the game. Okay, do we know that the fast guy's in the game? Okay, I think we do, and we see this damn play. So I think Wink has us in the right defense. He has us in a perfect defense, but we don't tackle the guy. This is just frustrating because we're he's got a guy on the dive. He's got the right. He's running a scheme here. He's slanting this way. He's coming here, and he's got the backer here. Okay, he's got a guy he's got a guy on the dive. He's got a guy on the quarterback. He's got TJ Guys hitting the dive. Boom, hitting the dive. Come off on the quarterback, right shoulder because he's fast. Right shoulder. Make him come back inside.
Yeah.
But what happens? No, I'm gonna let him outside the defense. First down. There's no excuse for that. Wink's got the right defense called. Make the play. I mean, I know he's fast, but miss him to the inside, Denny. You know what I mean? By missing him.
Good illustration. I'm with you. I was feeling it.
Okay, rush drill. Denny, we do a pass rush drill. Everybody in the country, every high school, college, they all do it. It's just pass rush. You line up a guy, he knows it's pass, it's pass, and you just rush. And we're nickel coverage here, 2nd and goal. And that's again, we get pressure, but don't fool yourself that this offensive line doesn't think that this guy might rush or this guy might rush. They don't know that because he's done it. We've done it in the past. So the people that want to beat up Wink for saying, let's just be vanilla, we're getting pressure with 4. Well, he's sneaking up. You see him sneaking up? You know, Denny, those things, Coach Moe used to call it sugaring with the backers. You know, a sugar backer means you're faking like you're coming, because all that does is create conflict for the protection. But anyway, we get great rushes here. Look at Mason Graham. Look what he does to this guard. Look at Mason Graham right here. Just launching that dude. But, you know, you can have one guy rushing. You still have to have contain. And we're getting good contain and good pressure from these guys. They're outside. They're outside the defense. They're outside. Don't let them run outside. He's boxed in, man. He's got nowhere to go. So that's a beautiful pass rush. It's really just the drill. Here's 34 Hood in the game. We're in a 5-1 look. It's 3rd and goal. Is this more? Yeah, this is a 5-1 look. And anyway, I was glad seeing him play. We get him stopped, so they got to kick a field goal. But we're showing, we're showing different looks. What do we do here? We drop him. So we're showing 5 and we're dropping the backer. So we're only rushing 4 guys. You got it? We're not overcommitting. And we get them stopped. Kick a field goal. So they tie the game. All right, eyes here. This is a great job by Hausman. They're running a false pull. They want to get him to vacate to feel that guard. They want him to run with that guard. You got it? Michigan runs this play. But he doesn't totally buy on the guard pulling. He gets back into his he feels the tight end. He sees it with his eyes. You know, he sees the guard pull, but then he's feeling the tight end. Pass shows, puts it in the gut. Is it run? You know, what is it? Is it run or pass? He's got to honor that mesh point. The guard's pulling. It could be a run here. He doesn't know yet. So now the guy pulls it out. Now he's got to feel pass. So where are his eyes? He's looking up this tight end right here. Feels him, works inside. See how he doesn't go to the tight end? He's kind of like running his route. Instead of opening up to him, he opens up away from him. See how he opens up away?
Yeah.
That's smart because he's running the route. And they coach that, and the kid, that's a great play. That's the only mistake this kid made. It's the only mistake that kid made all game, Rogers. And Hausman made a great play. So that's just a great job by Hausman. Surge, 42's in here. Good to see him getting some class. Did 83 play, Denny?
83? I didn't know.
Marshall, I didn't see him. I wonder if he's hurt. But again, look at the surge. Look at us knock these guys off the ball. You shouldn't lose a football game when you're hammering dudes. Look at that. They didn't do that to us. Did you see them do that to us on 4th down on short yardage? No. What's the down and distance? 2nd and 10. This is a huge play. This guy makes a hell of a play. This kid right here. I mean, this is how you coach it. He punches, he just put his hand right on that ball, man. Huge play in this game.
83 didn't play.
God damn, this play, I don't even want to look at it again. Pisses me off. The kid made a great play, man. He just stuck his arm right in there and found it, put it right on the football. It looks like Tuttle's trying to secure the ball with 2 hands, and then at the last second, he takes the other hand off of it. Huge play. Got to secure the ball, Danny, right? Isn't that old Scar says is the number one thing?
Yeah. Well, the air goes out of the balloon pretty quick there. I mean,
It's always number one, secure the football. I got Mason Graham circled here. What's he doing here? Oh, this is a mistake by Mason Graham. Couple guys make mistakes. But Mason Graham is so good. The kid is so good. I'll tell you what, this running back was freaking fast. This kid was good.
Coleman, yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal, Denny. Mason Graham is a one technique. He's got inside control of this guard. He's responsible for the gap between the guard and center. So he is just taking this kid, and then these guys are lost here. We lose contain. But watch Mason Graham. He punches this kid he's got control of his gap. This is his gap right here. He's got it handled. But our coaches try to teach gap and a half. They try to teach the guy to play this gap, but also be able to come off if the back cuts it back this way. And Mason Graham understands that. That's what he's doing. He's totally manhandling this kid. And this running back understands it too. So the running back is pump faking Mason Graham. He's going to take a step out here, and he gets Mason to leave his gap just for a second, for a split second. Watch this running back. See how he stepped left?
Yeah.
Watch how he sees Mason. He knows where he sees where he wants to be. He knows where he wants to be. And he's pump faking Mason Graham. And Mason has got to understand that even though the coaches want you to be a gap and a half player, you still got to play your gap. I used to give my guys percentages. It's a whatever, 60-40. 80-20 means 80 means you have to contain the damn play. You follow me? This is like a 55-45 deal where they want you to play your gap but still come off on it. I don't know if I'm throwing too much stuff at you, but he don't make the play because that's his gap. Okay, but who's these two guys down here? What are these guys doing? There's no excuse for this. He's outside. TJ Guy, this is your responsibility right here. Okay, and this guy's responsibility is if he does lose contain, that you got to be outside here. But what are they doing? Watch him real slow. Throw him away. No, throw him. Don't go inside. Throw him inside and come off here. And look what we get. That should have been a 5-yard game. I mean, if Mason Graham does what he's supposed to be, it probably would have been a 2-yard game. Could have been a loss. But this running back is the whole deal. This play works because we're handling him at the line of scrimmage. We are handling this football team at the line of scrimmage. It's just this guy's ain't, play your technique, play your responsibility, stay outside here. Because look at all this defense in here. If he makes the play come back, he's unblocked. This guy right here is expecting these two guys to kick the play back in here. You follow me? He's expecting that play to be in here. That's why he's run supporting in there. Instead, he's inside and nothing there. So you got to play you got to do your job. Now, is that coaching? Is that players? TJ Guy's been around. He should know what to do there. TD pre-snap. Danny, I knew this was a TD as soon as they lined up. I knew where they were scoring because I saw nothing in here. I said, this is a touchdown. It's 2nd and goal. Why we, it's just but that Denny, sometimes you get you call your defense and you just don't get it right. And it's just nothing. We got nothing in there. We ain't stopping Jack. Ain't never stopping this play. I mean, you basically, unless you're going to run a game, okay? And Wink has plenty of games, but the only way you're going to stop it with this alignment from your defense is if you do this. On the snap of the ball, this guy comes flat hard and kills the dive, okay? And then Wink has done things where this backer will come off on the quarterback or safety, right? Or follow me? We've done that, right? But we don't do none of that. We got him defending nothing, and he just runs it right off the butt. Now, I don't know if this is on – who is that number there, Denny?
0. Stewart.
Now, I don't know how they're coaching it, but we get nothing, and it's a touchdown. So, no good. Loud place. This guy's, this guy never played football. He was a tennis player in college.
He looks like a tennis player.
But he's a good coach. The first guy, he kept bugging Spurrier to give him a job when he was at Florida playing tennis. And Spurrier didn't want to hire him, and he said he worked for free, and Spurrier hired him. He worked under the ball coach. Then he worked under Jim Harbaugh. He worked under a lot of good people.
He'll be in the pros one day. Back in the pros.
I mean, here we are, 4th and inches. We hammer him in there.
Yeah, game's not over yet here.
I didn't even want to put this play in here, did I? Oh, what the hell did I do? I skipped the play. Okay, let's. This kid makes a hell of a play, but we are staring 18 down. But this kid makes a great play here. What's the down and distance? First down, 1st and 15. We got a lot of time, timeouts, and this kid just makes a great play, man. But don't jam it in there. If it ain't, it's God. He's just perfect technique, fast enough. Not turnovers, man. Kid made a great play. Take off and run.
Colston Loveland's great, but they target him 90% of the time. I mean,
we got to find. That's it. You're right. We got to get number 1 going. Get Morgan going. Here's Denny. Yeah. Look, Wink is just saying, we got to get him stopped. There's 2:30 left. He's trying to get him out of field goal range. That might be some of what he's thinking. Try to get a sack. That might be what he's thinking there. You follow me? Is like, why would you bring all 8? He hasn't done this all year. He's shown. I don't think he's even shown this. But we're bringing all 8. We're in 0 coverage, and he's doing it because I think he wants to get him sacked, get him throwing it quick, get him out of field goal range. It's what defensive coaches do.
Game. That makes sense, right?
Yeah. So I mean, and then this ball could have been picked off if could have been. It's not a perfectly thrown ball. It's garbage. Now we got to stop them. Now they can kick a field goal. I mean, you're going to blame the coach, player? I mean, I understand what Wink's doing there. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah, you've got to have the discipline not to rough the quarterback on Hillman. You can't into the neck and head. I mean,
Denny, this is why I don't like bringing. This is why I don't like bringing defensive backs. How much did they work on this in practice?
I don't know, but Hillman's had a couple now of unsportsmanlike late hits and stuff like that. It's not. Yeah. You can't do that. I mean, if this was the first game, you'd go and say, "Look, you get it." But I mean, that kid's played a little bit. You just can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, here we go again, man. This is Josiah Stewart letting the ball outside the defense. This is basic, fundamental stuff you do in practice every day as an edge player. You don't let the ball outside the defense. 3rd and 3, simple. Stay outside. Stay here. Stay here. Make him come back in here. Ain't nothing there. He gets outside. Anyway, that's it, Denny. We moved. You saw our offensive line move these guys.
Yeah.
Like I said, man, if I put on the film as a coach and I see my team hammering these dudes, and then when I see they got the ball, they ain't budging, they ain't moving us, I'm thinking we won the football game. Usually the line of scrimmage is, your indicator, man, if you're going to win the football game. So there's good things there. You can see a lot of guys did some good things, and we'll move on, man.
Yeah, I thought watching this would put me in a better mood, but it's been the opposite, Scar. That's not your fault, because they were coming off the ball, and it makes you think they should have been running the ball there instead of Tuttle having him throw it. Of course, he throws the pick, and you know, if he doesn't throw the pick and he doesn't fumble there, you'd like to see what they would have been able to do if they would have been able to move the ball down the field. But, you know, you've turned over the ball. I mean, you're talking about protecting the ball, and the offensive line's performing well. And late in the game, it even becomes that much more important.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, hey man, let's just have faith in our leader, and it's like he keeps our recruits committed, and there's a lot of little things going on that he has to focus on, and one good thing, Denny, there ain't nobody on our schedule that our players won't be mentally ready to play against, thinking that we're just going to just show up with the winged headgear, because that ain't happening.
What do you think I don't know, you always say what's the most important thing? You got one or two or three of things that are going to be most important during the bye? I think it's going to be Jack Tuttle is going to start the game. That would be a shocker to me if it wasn't, and maybe some short yardage stuff with Orgy, you know, so that would be what I would think there. What are some of the things that you think they'll be?
Danny, all those things we look at on film, and there's all these little things for every position. Every coach has plenty to work on, man. Every single position group. There ain't no one thing, man. You know, you look at the stop we get on 3rd and 2, Percy, the guy goes inside of him. You know, you work on cutoff blocks, and then you wonder why, you know, there's all kinds of little things.
No, you pointed them out there. There's about 10 things.
That's what you do as a coach. You got, it's
leveraging the ball. How about that? That would be number one. How about leveraging the ball? I mean, you had
keep that, but that's stuff you work on every day in practice. You're an edge player. You got to play the perimeter, man. The defense is counting on you, and you do drills on that every day in practice to keep the ball inside the defense. And
how about Scar? So Link doesn't grade out really well in pass protection, and Percy gets in there and he grades out pretty well. Are you thinking that maybe Percy, if
well, I don't know, Danny. Yeah, hang on a second. Time out. All right. Who does the grading?
Guys that used to.
Who's the guy? Hang on. Who's the guy?
I don't know who the guy is. It would be somebody like Bill Sheridan, who used to
if it's someone like Bill Sheridan, if it's a legitimate coach. But if it's just
they have the list. I don't know if they put. That's a good question, Scar. If they would be, it would be. I would like it more. I know people take it. It's a nice guide. It's something else, because a lot of people are not sitting around with the tape and looking at every single player and putting a grade on every single play. But if they put actually who's out there, I mean, the guys have. They're not just.
No, I get it, but I want to know. First question I have is who's doing the grading.
That's it.
The second question is, maybe I don't know. Maybe they put their best pass rusher against Link.
Yeah. Well, let's
maybe that was their game plan.
I know, it's frustrating. It's frustrating for a lot of the fans are like, how could you put him out there? And the point would be to me is like, well, in practice, he's performed the best out of all of the options, and yet you put Percy in there and he performs pretty well, and you're wondering, if that was just a game day thing. The possibility that Percy, if Hinton comes back, would be over there at right tackle, I would think it'd be something to keep an eye on, obviously.
I'd like to hear the offensive line coach talk about his team. If he wants to, those would be the people I'm interested in hearing, or some legitimate coach who actually has the time to evaluate these things, but to some guy, that could be some dude at the bar, Denny, or some dude at the bar.
You've got a little bit more credentials.
That could be some dude at the poker table talking smack.
I think that I haven't looked. It's somebody should do a story on the guys that are actually grading them out.
Yeah, I want to know who them guys are. I'm gonna give you a great. I'm gonna give you a Schembechler line. Who is they?
Well, you've used that on me. They say that Percy did a better job. That was Pro Football Focus that he did a better job.
All right. Anyway, Scar's keeping the faith. A lot to improve on. Michigan fans, keep the faith. They need to hire Scar.
There you go. Pro Football Focus or Michigan? What I'm going to give you Pro Football Focus's number, Scar. Maybe they'll want to say, let's get you in there. You want to dive in? You should be grading some tape. I like it.
Andy, have I ever shared the fact that Jim Harbaugh once asked me to coach with him?
You told me that, but
I don't think I ever did. What anyway, he did a long time ago. That's a whole nother story, maybe for the off season.
Scar, you could be sitting out there in LA right now with a at the poker table with, I don't know. Actually, if you were out in LA, I don't think there would be any poker playing. You'd be in a dark room right now with the film running.
Anyway, we're keeping the faith, Danny, over here, man. We're not looking to start attacking and destroying. We're keeping the faith. Go blue.
There he is. Smash that like button.